So, is the Su-7BMK worth it? Let's review it and find out. Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video I'll be reviewing the Su-7BMK, the Russian premium strike aircraft that currently sits at 9.3 BR. I'll be going over its stats, roles, strengths, and weaknesses, and then give it a final recommendation on if I think that you should purchase this plane or not. Please like, comment, and especially subscribe as I routinely release new content such as guides, reviews, tip videos, memes, and more. But with all that out of the way, this will be a short review video just due to the nature of the BMK, so let's get into it. And so for its stats, these are considering it being unladen and playing in RB. It has a max speed of 2,232 kilometers per hour, a turn time of 27 seconds, a maximum climb rate of 195 meters per second, two 30mm cannons with 80 rounds each, and up to 7 armament presets that include rockets and bombs. With the basics out of the way, let's get into the roles, and first and foremost, there's just really one role for the BMK. That can be divided into 2 separate sub-roles, just kind of depending on if you play ground or air. But simply, you want to go after things on the ground. In Air RB, this is actually an efficient base hunter that can get in and out after doing its damage, oftentimes without enemy planes even getting close, which will allow you to reload at base and go again. This is especially true in a down tier where many planes can barely scratch Mach 1, while you can hit Mach 2, and also have a much better acceleration compared to those planes. Of course, this is where the BMK stops being good, unfortunately, as it has very little in the way of being able to defend itself against or go on the offensive against other planes. Of course, it has potent cannons, but these are best served as a complement to the CAS/ground attack role, not against enemy planes. Further, it has no air-to-air missiles, which puts this plane in great danger unless being covered by others. Thankfully, again, its speed largely acts as a defense all its own, but if you happen to be successfully intercepted in this role, there is little that you can do about it. In much the same vein, the BMK is tremendously useful in close air support. Unfortunately, you're not going to be as capable as the higher BR Su-7BKL, as that can carry slightly more than the BMK, but it won't matter if this is the highest BR plane that you have for close air support anyways. The BMK works great in this role in a pinch and is extremely efficient due to its ballistics computer, meaning that you can deliver precision strikes despite a somewhat limited loadout. If you were considering the purchase of the BMK because you play high or top tier Russian ground, this isn't quite the Sukhoi 17M2, the BKL, or the MiG-27. When that eventually gets placed in the game, but this is still plenty capable and is excellent for a plane that you can purchase without having to grind through the tech tree. But that said, this plane is used all the same as any other close air support. Fly low, climb before you reach your target, dive down, release, and zoom away. This is assisted by the fact that, again, it has a ballistic computer that acts almost like an aiming reticle on the ground. It does all phases of close air support very well and is a close air support plane without any fat. In detail, the BMK has a total of 998 kilograms of explosive mass when taking the 4 500 kilogram bombs and 2 250 kilogram bombs, whereas the F-5C, the plane that was released at the same time as the BMK, has 1,033.1 kilograms of explosive force, and it can still carry 2 AIM-9Es at the same time as well. This is obvious as it sits a full BR higher, but these were released simultaneously, and as counterparts, these two planes deserve some level of comparison. Finally, an important note for arcade players: in some way the BMK is best in arcade, which is where you can really start grinding, because it has that fast in-air reload, which is extremely good for getting thousands upon thousands of free RP, even more than most good matches of Air Realistic. In this regard, the Su-7BMK is better for grinding, at least in arcade, than the F-5C, as going after objectives like bases is so heavily rewarded. With all that out of the way, let's go over its strengths and weaknesses. And for its strengths, obviously it's very fast. It's nearly as fast as the MiG-23 and accelerates ridiculously quickly as well. Second, it has good ground ordnance, likely the most powerful that any Mach 2 9.3 BR plane could be. Third, it has a ballistics computer, which makes using it for close air support excellent. Especially if you purchase this for close air support, this is a very, very important strength. Fourth, it's fairly rugged and can take some good amount of damage, not against missiles, but mainly against small cannons. Fifth, it's capable of destroying an enemy base in air RB without having to fly back to your own base to reload. And finally, it has premium bonuses for RP and Silver Lions, including a 200% SL bonus compared to the F5C's 140% bonus. Combine the higher SL bonus with the role of the BMK and going after juicy ground targets, and this could end up being a far more effective Silver Line grinder than even the F5C. And just as every rose has its thorn, every strength has a weakness, so let's go over its weaknesses. First, it has very little in the way of anti-air capability, as it only has its stock cannons with only 160 rounds total between the two, and again, no air-to-air missiles, which leaves it to be a sitting duck if you don't consider its speed. Second, it has no guided ground ordnance, which around this BR you're starting to see some planes with it, such as the A4E Skyhawk. Third, while potent and capable of delivering precision strikes, it has a somewhat limited ground ordnance package, especially when compared to similar BR American planes, again like the A4E. The ballistics computer should make up largely for this, however, as being accurate negates the need for a large payload. But this being said, and I don't know if it's just me, there seems to be an appreciable margin of error in the ballistics computer, which can take surefire hits and make them big misses. This has happened a few times in matches with me, and I just don't know how to explain it, outside of the fact that either I'm wrong or the computer's wrong. But I know that I personally am very successful in dive bombing, having a much higher rate of success without the ballistics computer with even prop planes than I do with the ballistics computer with this plane. And now for my final recommendation. Ultimately, this plane will be forever tied with the F5C and to a point the Yak-38, due to when they were both released and their spots in the tech tree respectively. When thinking about the merits of the Sukhoi 7BMK versus the F5C, it's much the same as when both the Yak-38 and Harrier GR1 were released simultaneously. Every time I saw and still see a Yak-38 Premium, I ask myself, did this person really think the Yak is better than the Harrier? In this case, the Sukhoi 7BMK fulfills a totally different role than the F5C and is better at certain things than the F5C and is just as capable, if not more capable, of being an excellent close air support plane or grinder when considering their respective BRs. Simply put, the BMK is a great plane when just considering the BMK. A lot of people might ask, why would you purchase this over the F5C while looking at both planes at face value, treating the BMK as though it's meant for the same missions as the F5C? It isn't. It's meant for good close air support and base hunting, and it does both fairly efficiently with no frills. This plane doesn't have the glitz, glam, or anything special, but is meant to get dirty and still fly home. And it does that well. Sure, you're buying a pig rather than a show horse when you're buying the BMK, but unlike the show horse, this pig, or in this case the BMK, flies under the radar and gets the job done without making a fuss. So this said, do I recommend this plane? Yes, but really it is meant for specific players. If you are at top tier for Russian ground and need a close air support plane, this does that role well, especially if you do not have a developed air tech tree. If you want to grow your air tech tree, this plane does it better than almost every other plane currently in the Soviet lineup, especially if you play arcade air. While it doesn't have everything for everyone, and I still maintain that the F5C is a much better overall value, being substantially more versatile, the Su-7BMK is still a good option for those that need some close air support power, but don't already have it. It's a bit of a pig, but it's a pig that brings home the bacon. This said, as always, thanks so much everyone for watching this video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe if you have not done so already. Let me know what you guys think about this video, about the plane, in the comments below. But either way, I'm signing out for the day, so thanks again so much for watching everyone. I will see you all on the other side. Take care everyone.